Well, well, well. Of course, we know when the players got back, the questions would be about Marshawn Kneeland. And I was pretty sure that Dak Prescott would be one of the main people they would want to talk to about Marshawn Kneeland, especially with what he experienced with his own brother. And I think Dak Prescott says some very interesting things about Marshawn Kneeland. Some things we expect, but there is something that he said that I didn't expect, but I talk about in my own profession. And I think every Cowboys fan needs to hear what Dak Prescott had to say about Marshawn Kneeland and mental health. Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, don't forget at the end to please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member or subscriber yet, please do. We had a lot more things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Again, I knew they would have a lot. I knew they would want to talk to Dak Prescott. And I haven't talked about this a lot or as much as maybe even some people may have wanted, because I just know it's a very sensitive situation. But when you start talking about people taking their own life, there's a lot of variables that goes into this, and people just don't understand it. And, you got to be careful trying to rubber stamp it and saying that it's this or it's that or this other thing. I mean, you just never know what it is. And I can tell you, I'm telling you, I'm not just somebody who's talking from experience. I'm somebody who actually is educated in this area. I hold multiple degrees. I'm not just a quote unquote preacher. I hold multiple degrees, as in ministry and dealing with people, masters of divinity. They kind of teach you about, that's about dealing with people and helping people as it applies to not just Christianity, but life in general. But one thing for sure that Dak Prescott said, that he's going to say in this, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more as we listen to Dak Prescott, but there are no experts in this field. I'm sorry, there are no experts in this field. There are people who work in this field, but honestly, there actually are no experts. It's a case-by-case basis. A lot of times, one of the things you have to learn as you begin to get experience in this stuff and you actually, get around people and experience it with people, sometimes you just learn. Sometimes silence is the best remedy. Sometimes talking is the best remedy. Doing things is the best remedy, but there are so many things. But sometimes when it comes to this, I've experienced this in my own family. I'm pretty sure other people have too, but sometimes there is no rhyme or reason. There are no signs. And sometimes we kind of just reach, or we kind of just say this is what it is. But in the grand scheme of things, the only person that knows is that person. And so the people who are left, we are the ones who are left to answer questions that we probably can't answer. So this is Dak Prescott with his version of Marshawn Kneeland. And I'm telling you, Dak Prescott is going to say some of the same things that I've experienced, not just in education, but just personally dealing with this and counseling people who have dealt with this. Check this out.
Dak, just talk about your emotions in the moments after hearing the news and just exactly what Marshawn meant to you.
Yeah, initially hearing the news, stunned. It was early morning. Saw the message. Didn't really want to believe it. Didn't believe it. Stunned, almost shocked, numbness. Big portion of that being numb. And Marshawn, just a great dude. Just spirit was always high. Anytime you crossed him, very contagious attitude. We spent, I would say, a lot of time throughout the training room, passing each other, having small conversations here and there, and very loving, contagious guy. I mean, I know that, right? It's been noted, right? His saying was "one love," and I think you just felt that. You felt that aura, you felt that demeanor, you felt him carry that, and that's everything that he did. The way he played this game, the way he took care of his body, he did that like a veteran. He was a professional. He was much more of a professional than a lot of young guys that I've seen throughout the league, and doing everything that you need to do the right way to make sure you're available. And Marshawn did that, and very loved. He'll be missed. Definitely not forgotten, and we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward to carry on his legacy, and just everything that we can do, just trying to do it to the best we can.
As the leader of this team, what's your message to your teammates in terms of how you go about moving forward?
Yeah, for one, I mean, it's just been being present. I can honestly.
Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to. Dak Prescott is alluding to something. He's building towards something. Because I want you to just notice how he's talking about Marshawn Kneeland. His demeanor around the team. His demeanor, his attitude, his just his overall aura around the team. Just listen to what he's alluding to. He's alluding to how positive, how upbeat it was. Just keep listening.
Say there hadn't been a moment I've stepped up and addressed the team, and I think the important reason for me why is I know in my experiences of dealing with loss and pass, like you should grieve your own way. And I don't for 1 second want to tell somebody how they should grieve and how they should get over, not get over or work through something. I just know the best thing that's helped me out is just when people were just there for me. And when they're there for me in silence, just feeling their presence, feeling their love, and showing me what it looks like to how to move from one day to the next, doing better and trying to carry on a legacy. And so for me, that's a lot of these guys. I mean, I hope everybody in this organization understands or knows my losses. And so I just hopefully somebody can look at me and understand and see what I've been through, and that there is brighter days, better days. And you can get through this, and you'll get through it and be stronger because of it. And I just want to be an example of that to my teammates.
Two things real quick. See, when you're in the business of people's souls and spirit, one of the hardest things to learn is to say nothing. Some people think they have all the answers, but you got to learn how to say nothing sometimes. Going in the hospital sometimes and visiting people who are, they're terminally ill. And you're wondering, like, okay, what do I need to be saying, when I go here? Or someone, a family experiences death. What do I need to be saying when I go here? And, do you go in with all of the hoopla and the let's pray and, and just talking and going around and blah, blah, blah. And one of the biggest lessons that you learn in this is sometimes you don't say nothing. Sometimes it's just about being present in case somebody do want to talk, in case somebody do want to pray, or even sing for that matter, whatever sometimes people do. You have to learn those things, that there is no expertise in this. It's not. I mean, you can kind of, I've experienced it quite a bit dealing with people over the years, but no case is the same. No case is the same. So you just have to learn how to just, the biggest thing that you can take away from these type of things is just be present for people when things like this occur. No expertise in this area. Just learn to be present.
You guys playing, honoring him by the way you play the rest of the season. What does that look like to you?
nobody chased the ball like Marshawn. And you turn on practice film, game film, whatever it may be. I know going back to the spring, Shotty would show clips of guys running at the ball in OTAs, and Marshawn always made that list. And I think it's just evident right there. And I think that showed his love for the game, showed his love for his teammates and what this meant. And so at any position, I think that's an easy way to do it right there. It's just your effort and chasing the ball down just as Marshawn would.
A lot of players look to you and Solly as the leaders of this team to help. Who do you guys look to help you get through this?
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys did a great job of bringing in professionals, people who are who get paid to deal with these moments. And as you just noted, right, obviously me and Solly have been through this, but I'll be the first to say that I may be the champion of speaking up, but I'm not necessarily the champion of dealing with grief, I guess you can say, right? And I'll say I'm a champion of moving forward and past it and using it as your strength your source of strength. But the team did an amazing job of bringing in professionals, whether it been doctors, whether it was Dr. T, or whether it been O2X, of not only just words, but giving people, obviously having the resources for them to be able to talk to, and those medical and those counselors, and giving people those avenues, but just as well as different ways to deal with grief. And, you know, when certain emotions and certain feelings come about, maybe to counteract them. And I know one for me is I get angry a lot. And the best way is when I get angry or when I get sad in those moments, I just think about how can I counteract that. And usually it's how can I make somebody smile, or how can I do something better. And so just little things like that have been helpful. I know have been helpful to me. And so, as I said, I haven't necessarily spoken, had a team addressed, I guess you can say, but I've taken a lot of those conversations from the O2X, from Dr. T, from the professionals, and have brought them into smaller conversations as we've had breakouts or just hot tub talk or conversations at lunch. And just the more we can talk, the more we can connect. That's the only good in this, honestly, at this moment, is remind us how important it is to connect and how important it is to not just know these jersey numbers, but to know the family and to know things beyond this building.
Speaking on that, I know you guys.
Yeah. See, this is one of the things that gets so tough, when you're dealing with stuff like this, it's just being present, one, and then someone who, because even when you're trained in this stuff, I'm telling you, it's all case by case. And as much as some people want to talk, other people don't want to talk. And the Cowboys have done a great job of things in the immediate, but it might take some time for other people to want to maybe come out and speak later. And then some people may not even ever want to speak about it. Everybody deals with grief differently. But I do applaud the Dallas Cowboys for facilitating that if there are people who feel like they got to get some things out, or if they want to do this or they want to do that, they can do those things. But I can tell you this, Dak Prescott, just keep listening. He's building towards something. And so a lot of times when you have situations the way this occurred, sometimes there's not really a lot to say because it came out of the blue. Suddenness is different than, and you kind of knew there was an illness, anticipating, because some people may be saying that in the beginning we heard there was an illness, and we talked about the fact that he lost his mom, but Dak Prescott is building towards something. Check this out.
You guys had a Zoom meeting last Thursday, but to be able to come back together Monday, how did you see the impact that made, and what does it mean to have a team to be able to cope a loss like this?
It's huge. Don't know what I'd do. I don't know what these guys would do without having a team like this. I can tell you my hardest days were those few days before we got to come in and be together. As I was just saying, the ways that I've deal with grief is just being in the presence of others who understand what that grief feels like. And in this case, it was just your teammates. It was only your teammates you could really just be around that have that feeling, that can understand, and that you can have conversations about Marshawn. You can carry on that light, and you can smile in the sense of being hurt. And those days were tough, but I think the moment that we got in together, I know that team meeting was healing to me. I know it was to a lot of guys, and just every conversation has been. And to have a team, to have teammates and brothers that you can love and you go through things with, that's been my message to these guys is we don't get this forever. And when this is gone, if we don't make these connects the right way, we're going to lose it. And so just invest in it even more.
Solomon.
See, I think Dak is really hitting on something. One of the things about death for me, and I always tell people I'll never get used to it because I know why it came into the world. Jesus came into the world to defeat death. But one of the things I'm noticing about Dak Prescott is a move forward guy. He's a move forward person. I'm the same way. I'm a move forward. You never move on. I mean, my mom passed away a few years ago. I didn't move on, but I moved forward. But not only do you move forward, as I always remind people too, is that death should make us who remain appreciate life. Appreciate it and don't take it for granted. A lot of people say, life is not promised, but I can tell you this, death is. You never know when it's going to happen. So you got to appreciate life. And, you have to, and when things happen in life, always understand they happen for a reason. And we don't understand why everything happens. But whatever happens, we have to keep living. We have to keep living. We have to keep moving forward because there are other people who are depending upon us. And they want to look at us and see, how do we handle things like this? And Dak Prescott, man, he's a great example. And that's why I'm noticing as he's building towards something he's about to say, but I'm also noticing, I've already heard him say, move forward, and he's moving forward, and the team's moving forward. And man, that's all you can do. I mean, grand scheme of things, that is all you can do. None of us have the power of life and death in a sense as far as it pertains to bringing someone back. So we have to learn and we have to keep moving.
He was asked about seeing if there were any signs, that Marshawn was struggling. He said he didn't really see any. And, with that, there could be guilt. What have you learned?
Right here. Let me go back.
Invest in it even more.
Solomon said, he was asked about seeing if there were any signs, that Marshawn was struggling. He said he didn't really see any. And, with that, there could be guilt. What have you learned from some of your losses about dealing with that? And is there something you could share on that to your teammates?
Yeah, guilt's tricky. Guilt's one of those things that when those thoughts come in, that's where you first have to counteract and counter thoughts. To go off of what Solomon said, yeah, there was no signs. And I know respect to the family, right? They don't want to go down and tag this as mental health. And with that being...
This is why I say people have to be careful. See, there are always people trying to relate their situation to someone else's situation. And I think Solomon Thomas's family, I think they're saying something. I mean, not Solomon Thomas. I mean, Marshawn Kneeland's family is saying something. They didn't necessarily see this stuff either. Notice, the team, they're saying they didn't see it. Solomon Thomas didn't see it. Dak Prescott has already been alluding to, he was available to him. Everybody knew that Dak wears on his wrist, asked for help. Conversations with Marshawn Kneeland, didn't see it. The family is saying, we don't want to go down that road. I don't know. Maybe they will later, but they don't want to go down that road. And what they're talking about with Marshawn Kneeland, I talked about this the other day when I talked about this. Man, sometimes you just never know what triggers something. Somebody could actually be going along and everything is great, and just something could trigger it. The thing is, nobody will really know, I believe. Unless they find something here later on, but I think no one, I just think listening to people talk about this, they're shocked. Because nobody expected it. We were suffering well. I've said this before. I know this about people in general. People were suffering well. People wear pain well. People are good at hiding things. But sometimes, maybe you're not hiding anything. Maybe there's a singular moment, something that triggers you, brings back a memory, or just overcome you, and you never know. I spoke to a lady, counseled a lady, that this is exactly how it kind of happened to her. Kind of how it happened to her son. He was on medication. They thought everything was fine. You just never know. And I'm telling you, man, Dak Prescott, I appreciate him relaying this message to the public at large. Don't just put this on mental health. There may have been some other things, or nobody is really privy to what could have triggered him. Who knows? Talking about guilt or whatever the case may be. What triggered it? I mean, if it was some guilt, what triggered it at that moment? You never know. And that's why I say, as we let Dak Prescott finish, I know from experience and through education, there is no experts in this. There are no experts when it comes to these type of things. If somebody doesn't leave the reason and you don't, and everything else, it's probably it's a form of speculation. But I respect the family. And this is why I've tried not to really talk about this a whole lot. But when Dak Prescott's talking about it, I definitely want to bring some awareness and help bring some awareness as someone who has experience. I mean, I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert. I just have experience in death. And I have experience in people taking their life and people being left behind. I have experience in this. And so anytime you can help somebody with this type of stuff, you just do what you can do. But at the same time, I hope people kind of stop asking the Cowboys about this in the grand scheme of things, because sometimes if you keep on talking to people about these types of things, you start breaking down their own coping mechanisms. You start breaking down how they want to deal with something or their grief that's going to get them through something. If you just keep on harping on it, you may drive a person to be into depression or have them feeling some type of way. So again, I appreciate it. I'm going to bring this again to awareness, help bring awareness to this. If you feel yourself feeling some type of way, man, I always have somebody that you can pick up the phone and call. Always have somebody you can pick up the phone and call, somebody that can get to you when you know you are feeling some type of way. And man, y'all go out there, y'all tell y'all family members, your friends, or whoever that if you ever need somebody to talk to, you ever feeling some type of way, I'm here to talk to you. And y'all can email me if you want to. Let's Talk Cowboys, gbj@gmail.com. Email me. And I'll talk to you if you need talking to. All right. Let's let Dak Prescott finish, then we're going to get out of here.
Being said, yeah, there was no signs. I said I crossed him a lot, passed him a lot through the hot tub, through cold tub, through the training room, and far opposite of any signs. I mean, there was never really isolation. There wasn't a time that Marshawn wasn't talking or wasn't open or putting smiles on people's faces. So it's tough to even, talk to these two things hand in hand. And for me, it's a moment of a cup ran over, and that's why it's important for us to connect, just communicate, talk, vent, and just try to get things off our plates as much as we can, and just be there even when you feel like you're not. Your presence matters.
Your presence matters.
It was great, and Shadi alluded to that, and he said it earlier in the week. Some guys are going to get out the field and it's going to hurt, and some guys are going to get out there and it's going to be the best medicine for them. Having dealt with the loss, and that is the best medicine for me. So getting back out there, handing the ball off and sprinting an extra 10 yards and making sure I'm doing it hard. Marshawn went through my mind a few times in practice today, and I just countered that with running harder after a play or trying to do something to better this team and to show that. But it felt good, and I know it was a great practice. A lot of guys were out there, good energy, beautiful weather, and as I said, we're not forgetting, but we're moving forward, carrying on the light.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you got to move. You got to move forward. You got to move forward, and I hope people stop asking the Cowboys about the particulars and how they're dealing. Just let them do it. Let them do it. People don't always want to tell you how they're doing it. Some people do, some people don't. Sometimes, man, you just got to say, you know what, if they want to volunteer that information, let them volunteer it. But, you know, all the asking of the questions, man, that's tough. That's tough. You know, this is the profession that they're in. I understand it, but it's tough. It absolutely is. And I'm just telling you, when things like this happen in your life and you're a person that's remaining, you know, don't feel guilty either, because you just don't know what was going through somebody's mind at the time. And don't try to blame yourself and saying you should have done this and you should have done that, because you never know. There may have been nothing you could do in the first place. But again, man, it's an incredible, incredible conversation. And I don't mind having it, but I also know this is Let's Talk Cowboys, so I don't like to just really go all into those type of things. I mean, most people know by now that that I am a minister, and you know, and I'm an educated minister at that. I let people know that sometimes, because sometimes people think you don't know what you know. They think you're just somebody that just came along. And I'm not saying that the education necessarily means you know anything. But I can tell you this, I'm a person that pretty much understands some of these things from just in the field, through study, through education, and just overall experience with people. You know, I've been here and done some of this stuff. So again, there's no experts. There are no experts, but just be present for somebody. And if you don't feel like you can, just always let somebody know, but there is somebody that you can send them to and get help. I appreciate it. It's a great conversation. It's time to move on. We will continue to pray for Marshawn Kneeland's family. I think the Joneses have done some absolutely great things as it applies to Kneeland's family. And now to find out he's got a child on the way, it just hits you even harder in the heart. But at the end of the day, none of us can control the uncontrollable. All we can control is ourselves. So whenever we can, let's be here for somebody and just do all that we can to be a part of somebody's life and just help them to live life to the fullest. Again, I appreciate y'all, man. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Prayers up to Marshawn Kneeland's family. Let's Talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.